Assalamualaikum and good morning or evening depending on when you're watching this. Today I've been given a chance to give a speech and I'm going to grab this opportunity to amplify my voice on what's been happening around the world in the midst of the pandemic. The first issue I want to talk about is what the Yemenis are facing right now. They are currently facing the worst and the biggest humanitarian crisis in the last 100 years. With more than 24 million people, some 80% of the population are in need of humanitarian assistance, including 12 million children. The country has been a living hell for the country's children. With COVID-19 spreading rapidly, Yemen is facing an emergency within an emergency. Sanitation and clean water are in short supply. Only half of health facilities are functioning and the remaining functional ones lack basic equipment like gloves and masks, let alone oxygen and some other essential supply to treat COVID-19. Many healthcare workers receive no salaries and no incentives, and 10.2 million children doesn't have access to basic healthcare. They are currently facing an epidemic, cholera, a pandemic, COVID-19, famine and war all at the same time. Every 10 minutes, a child dies in Yemen. Well, moving on to my next point. This issue, I don't see a lot of people talking about it, so I'm going to. The Philippine president have approved widely opposed anti-terror law. This law is an attempt to weaponize law to silence government critics. If this bill is passed as an act, then the state and its forces have absolute power in defining what constitutes terrorism, the definition of terrorism, who to be considered terrorism, and what will happen to the individuals. This bill allows police, law enforcement and military personnel duty authorized by the Anti-Terrorism Council (ATC) to carry out warrantless arrests without incurring liability under the Article of 125 of the revised Penal Code. This bill gave absolute power to the government to kill dissent and opposition. Who to be considered terrorists, you might ask? Well, you are considered to be terrorists if you assault or attempt assault, you damage or attempt damage on government's facilities, you carry or buy a knife or anything that can be used to kill, you meet up with your friend or friends with the possibilities of you plotting an attack with them, you donate or help relief drives that are not government or state recognized, you join a movement or rally that can affect the public safety, and lastly, writing, posting, retweeting and sharing posts, even memes that are related to terrorists. Well, moving on to the last issue I want to talk about is the Black Lives Matter. BLM is a global organization in the US, UK and Canada. The mission of this movement is to eradicate white supremacy and to build local power to intervene of violence inflicted on black communities by the states and vigilantes. The brutality and racism that has been faced by the black community in the US has been going on for over 300 years now. The BLM movement has been very active since the death of George Floyd, who is an innocent black man who was killed because of police brutality. There are some others live who were also killed because of police brutality. For example, Ahmaud Arbery was going for a run. Breonna Taylor was asleep in her bed. Dominic Clayton was also in her bed sleeping. And there's so many other lives that had met and horrid and of a unfortunate and horrible end to their lives. I've seen a lot of people thinking the hashtag BLM is a trend. No, it isn't a trend. It is a movement. You need to take action. If you post hashtag BLM on your social media once, it's not going to help. Well, what can you do? How can you help? First, you can voice out your concerns about these problems. You can share this problem with your friend, with your family, and raise awareness. Then you need to stay informed and educated about these issues and other issues that has been happening right now. If you have enough money, you can donate it. But if you don't, like me, an underage with no source of money, you can always sign online petitions. Well, most people are signing petitions right now. Some others are questioning whether signing petitions are going to help. Well, the answer is yes. We take Elijah McClain, who is an innocent black man who was killed because of police brutality, for example. His case was reopened after the over 2 million signed petitions. Well, there you have it. It can help. Signing petition will help. It will help. If you want to know about or sign petitions about the BLM, you can go to blacklivesmatter.card.co. For the Yemenis, go to linktr.ee/Taiba, TAIYBA. While for the Philippines, you can go to jamterrabil.card with the same .co. I also highly recommend you check change.org because there's over hundreds of petitions you can sign online. I urge you who is watching this right now to do your part, even if it's little or big. It doesn't matter as long as it helps those who are suffering out there right now. We need to take action. We need to join forces to help them who are in need. I quote this from Desmond Tutu. If you are neutral in a situation of injustice, then you have chosen the side of the oppressor. And with that, I'm going to end this speech by thanking Sir for giving me this opportunity to amplify my voice. Stay safe, make good choices every day. Assalamualaikum.